So much for being with me, guys. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Welcome, McBean Immigration TV, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're reachable, guys, at 914-898-9488. You could book a consultation with us to discuss your private, confidential immigration matter. As we're going to discuss today, friends, immigration is not only a problem that undocumented individuals in the United States are facing, and it is certainly not a problem that foreigners outside of the United States are facing today. It is a problem for U.S. citizens as well. We'll get into that momentarily. Come in and type in experience matters and type in peace. Peace matters. And so at McBean Law, we focus on delivering quality experience legal services to our clients nationwide. Although we're located in White Plains, New York, you could contact us for a consultation virtually. We work with clients across the United States, all 50 states, and in many different countries as well. And also, we do removals, we do complex family cases, consular cases. We are an all service, full service, I should say, immigration law firm. And I see that everyone is on now. Thank you so much for joining me. We could be reached at 914-898-9488, or you could go to mcbeanlaw.com and put in a request to meet with us. We'd be happy to meet with you. I'm going to start off with some immigration news that I find to be very important. And then we're going to go right into some things that are happening here at McBean Law. Very exciting things. And do the Q&A segment, which is always the longest segment of our show. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. All right. Firstly, guys, with respect to immigration news, DHS is still shut down, okay, due to some budget problems. Congress has made the decision, Democrats primarily have made the decision to hold up additional funding to DHS until the agency get its act back. Get its act together, guys. Really, we've seen the enormous amount of constitutional violations that are happening across the United States involving ICE, and also there are attorneys too at the DHS who are not following court orders. The whole thing is a mess, and our legal framework is under attack and threats. And so on Capitol Hill, some Democrats, they came together and they said that, well, we hold the purse. We remember that we hold the purse, and we're not going to release some funding to DHS until some very basic things happen, such as they get back to protecting, ensuring that they are not violating constitutional rights. They removed the mask and some other basic common sense proposals. DHS remains in a partial shutdown, now entering its fourth week after the Senate failed to pass a funding bill. The vote on the latest DHS funding measure was 51 to 45. With every Democrat, this is on the Senate side, with every Democrat except Senator Fetterman out of Pennsylvania, but every other Democrat voted no. A total of 60 votes were required for passage. Again, some Senate Democrats are demanding reforms for ICE and CBP operations. Negotiations are still ongoing on Capitol Hill, involving Senators Thune and Schumer and others who are engaged in the negotiations. Now, secondly, guys, you heard the big breaking news from last week, of course, is that there's a major shakeup at DHS. The Secretary Kristi Noem is out from DHS, and Senator Mullen from Oklahoma is the replacement. Now, keep in mind, however, that the Senate will still need to, is the audio good and crisp still on TikTok? If the audio is good wherever you're joining from, guys, let me know that the audio is good wherever you're joining from. I think I might have, okay, the audio is still okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so Senator Mullen, he has been named as the replacement for Kristi Noem. However, the Senate will still need to vote on his and confirm him to be the new secretary. It's most likely it's going to happen because senators almost always confirm other senators for cabinet level positions. So he is going to be the new Secretary of Homeland Security. He doesn't have the experience for it. He doesn't have the background at all for this. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but he previously served as a congressman on the House side between 2013 and 2023, and then he became a senator. He is a member of the Cherokee Nation, and making him the first tribal citizen in the Senate in nearly 20 years. He is also an undefeated professional MMA fighter, and he also ran a family plumbing business. And so, he doesn't come from a law enforcement background, or he's not a former DHS official. He just doesn't have the background. He is expected, however, to continue the tough enforcement policies and advance the America First agenda. So more to be said about him. Now, lastly, about the fact that immigration is now a problem not only for undocumented individuals, but also for citizens. The Wall Street Journal, and I have a screenshot here, the Wall Street Journal published a very interesting article that you guys should read about the fact that U.S. citizens are now the target of the Trump immigration crackdown. This is in their article, they talked primarily about the fact that the enforcement activities have been targeting citizens who are involved in protests and those who openly criticize the enforcement activities on X and other forums and TikTok, and how they are now facing enforcement activities. And you might be saying, well, I thought ICE only has jurisdiction over non-citizens, right? What are you talking about, McBean, that they are targeting? Well, the Wall Street Journal, I put the authority here, it's the Wall Street Journal, that they're now targeting US citizens. Well, it's a fact. Go read this article, and they are not prosecuting, these cases are not going anywhere. And the article talks about that. The fact that it's really more of an intimidation campaign, because these cases aren't going anywhere in court. They don't really have any basis at all to target US citizens. And furthermore, obviously they don't have the jurisdiction to detain a US citizen and hold them and take further action against that US citizen, but they are doing some things that are very intimidating and trying to really shut them up and to stop them from protesting or criticizing government policies. So this is an article out of the Wall Street Journal. They are reporting this. Also, what we're seeing on the U.S. citizen crackdown side of things from an immigration standpoint, like the administrative work that we do as immigration attorneys, we're seeing it from the angle of policies, putting in place policies that buffer or prevent U.S. citizens from taking a family's case further. And here's an example of it. I met with a couple, a husband and wife team last week, and the husband is a U.S. citizen. His wife, he's filing for his wife. She's qualified to do this process and get the green card here through her U.S. citizen husband. Highly qualified. There's no flags at all They're professional young people and very educated, highly educated people. And they had an interview scheduled at USCIS at the end of January. And when they got there, the husband was pulled aside, and the government said, "Sir, I'm sorry. We cannot move forward with your interview today for your wife's case. We cannot move forward with your application. It is being placed on hold." Why is this U.S. citizen husband's case being put on hold? Because he was born in one of those 39 travel ban countries that USCIS has placed an adjudication hold on. USCIS has said, we're not moving forward with these cases, and we're not given the green card, we're not given the citizenship status, we're not doing any of that for individuals from one of those 39 countries. So here you have a US citizen who is eligible and qualified under our law to file for his spouse. Now, the catch is this: the wife is not even from a travel ban country. She is not from one of those countries that are on pause. So you tell me, guys. This is the type of strategy and policies that they're putting in place to buffer people from moving forward. Um, and this is a U.S. citizen now whose rights have been hindered because of policy. So this is this type of thing that you should watch for, and that's the reason why we're going to file our lawsuit any day now with regard to the USCIS 39 country ban, because we find the policy to be terrible, and it's really hurting real people here. So we're going to file that any day now. We also have a very important update coming up, guys. It's March 14th, Saturday. That's the deadline to join our 52 country immigrant visa pause lawsuit. You will share the link here on how to get started with the onboarding for that lawsuit. So that's our 52 country lawsuit, and this is the lawsuit targeting that will compel the government. Our goal is to compel the government to lift its hand off the process of immigrant visas across the globe, well, these 52 countries, lift it so that these people can get their visas and come to the United States. So that Saturday is the deadline. So for those, we see a lot of you started the process, but you have not yet completed it. Complete your process, guys, and make your payment, of course, and upload your documents, and let's get this done. Let's get it done. And then on the a lighter note, on Friday, this coming Friday, the 13th, another Friday, the 13th, we have a webinar coming up about naturalization. One of my colleagues, an attorney from our firm, is going to be joining me in a webinar about how do you become a U.S. citizenship in this environment. It's kind of an intimidating time. So we're going to talk about strategies for becoming a U.S. citizen during this time. It's only focused on naturalization. So register for our Zoom webinar. Registration is required. We're also sharing the link here in the chat. Oh, and if you're joining on social media, the link will be in our stories as well. So you could always, after this session, go to our story, and we'll keep this week, we'll keep the Zoom link to register in our stories 24 hours. And also our 52 country lawsuit onboarding. That is also, the link will also be in our stories all week long. Okay. So, yay, lots of good things are happening, and we're very excited to be part of it with you. I think I forgot to share. This is the lovely flyer that one of my colleagues created about Friday, March 13th, naturalization webinar. It's free, and it's a webinar, so come prepared with your questions about naturalization. We're going to answer your questions as well. All right, let's get into some of your immigration questions now in real time. Thank you for your patience. Peace matters. Type in peace, peace, peace. My old school Freedom Now people, you could also type in Freedom Now as well. Freedom Now. Um, someone says there's a visa freeze. I did not know that. How did I miss that? So yes, there is a freeze on immigrant visas, and there is no exception for U.S. citizen family members. There is nothing like that in this one. Everybody is, it impacts family-based, employment-based, and diversity visa applicants as well. Um, and it's indefinite, and it's been placed on 75 countries. I've discussed it at length on our channel, so you could go back to McBean Immigration TV and see those videos. But we're on board and only for 52 countries. When will the presidential visa freeze be lifted? I don't know. I don't know, and we don't have the intel on that. Okay. Someone said, I went to my interview last week. They gave me a pink paper 221G. What does this mean? Someone is asking on TikTok. It means that the government, and I don't know what the reason is in that letter, what section of the law that letter cited, but it means that the government has refused you of the visa, the embassy or consulate refused you of the visa, and they're placing you in this hold for for a year, and you should cure whatever the problem is if it's within your power to cure. Most times it's because of a document that's missing, or yeah, most times it's because of documents that need to be submitted to the U.S. Embassy. Other times it's because of additional background work is going to be needed on your case. And now what's new is what I'm discussing about the 75 immigrant visa pause. They're just saying we're not going to issue the visa during this time based on this policy that the State Department has put in place. It's an indefinite pause because they're concerned that maybe people from your country will come to the United States and become a public charge to drain taxpayer dollars. So that's the main reason there. Let's see. When will the pause be lifted at USCIS? That is also another big unknown, which is why we're filing our lawsuit. And other firms also are doing similar work because that's what we have to do now. All right, type in freedom now. Thanks for all you do. Are people from the banned countries still getting work permits through VAWA? I have not seen that come in. I do know that what do I know? Tell me, what do you know, McBean? I'm listening for a reason. I expect you to know everything. No, don't know everything. Sorry to disappoint you. Um, I do know that renewals are happening. Renewals are still being processed, but as far as the initial applications, I haven't seen an approval come through on the initial first time filing side of things. Freedom now, guys. I feel like, yeah, yes, let's just go back to freedom. It just feels better. Freedom, freedom. All right. Is Belize one of them you file in for too? So what you can do is, and let's see, I'll try to also do that as well. Um, Go to McBean Law's website, okay? Go to McBean Law website, and um, you're going to go to a page where that's called 75 Country Visa Pause. And on that page, we provide information about the lawsuit, including the countries. And I just had to pull this up for myself. Belize is part of our lawsuit. So if if you have a relative in Belize or you're in Belize and you're held up because of this process, this pause, take a look at the criteria on our website. Your case must, at a minimum, must have reached documentarily qualified stage at the NVC Visa Center. So, or that's the cutoff for us. Really important that you had gotten to that point. All right, thank you. But yes, Belize is on the list. I do not have any news today about DACA. I do not have it. I do see the super chat question. I do not have an update, unfortunately. It's just shameful what's happening with the lawsuit being dragged out. I have not heard anything new today. We've been focusing a lot on our lawsuits. Um, when will the new public charge rules go into effect? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know the deadline when they're gonna push that forward. They have, obviously, they have some things organized around that. But I don't know the date when that's going to go into effect. Right now. I just don't. Um, if you have a deportation order after an appeal case, um, what can be done um, while your case is on appeal? Your appeal got denied. Is there any relief? I'm sorry. If you have a deportation order after an appeal case got denied, is there any relief? Okay, so here you have someone, we see people in this situation daily, daily, daily. And we have a lot of experience at McBean Law involving people with a removal order, even after their case has been, they've appealed the decision, and unfortunately they were not successful. What we've been doing is, of course, we study your background, we request your records from immigration to find out what's already on your record, and certainly what led to the removal order. And then we look to see if there's a way to reopen that removal order. We also consider the I-212 waiver. And when prosecutorial discretion was available, that was an option that we made available to some qualified clients. So for some people, there is a way to reopen and terminate their removal case. We have a terrific success story that we shared yesterday. I was going to read it at the end, but I think it's good to take a look at what happened in this case now. He came to the United States. He's from Haiti, actually. He came to Haiti, and he came from Haiti to the United States, and eventually he was placed in removal many years ago. And when TPS became available, his removal case was administratively closed, which meant that he was taken off the court's docket. He didn't have an upcoming hearing. And after being taken off the docket, he had the TPS and he was fined for some years. Once his daughter became a U.S. citizen, she filed for him and her case was approved. However, he wasn't able to get the green card, go all the way to the end for the green card because of some procedural rules. And so anyway, so for years he was stuck, and he came to us, and we filed a motion to recalendar last year in April. We filed a motion to recalendar his removal case and terminate it in one motion. And we explained to the court that he's been here for a very long time. Of course, he has an approved I-130 petition and some other things about his history. And the court finally in February agreed to approve our motion and terminate him and free him from deportation. Now USCIS is able to take up his adjustment of status case through his daughter. He has a complex procedural history, though. I didn't share. I don't want to share it here. If you read the story on our website, you'll see more about his background. We shared it in our success story at mcbeanlaw.com/success. So he didn't have a removal order, but on our website, you will see a lot of stories involving people with a final removal order and how we were able to help those individuals. Every case is different, however, of course. Thank you, guys. Come on in. Type in freedom now. Thank you all so much for being here today. A lot of you are joining. I appreciate you joining today. Thank you. Is the NVC still scheduling interviews? Someone is asking. Yes, the Visa Center is still, they're working. They're working. They're doing their part. And even if you're from one of those 75 country immigrant pause countries, then you should also still be getting your interview notice, and they're going to advance you all the way to an interview, only to give you a refusal letter in the end. So be prepared for that. Thank you, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Double tap the screen wherever you're joining from today, primarily on Instagram and TikTok. Hello, give me some hearts. Who qualifies for adjustment of status? Someone is asking. Adjustment of status primarily is available to individuals who were inspected, admitted, or given some sort of authorized approval, so to speak, to enter into the United States. It does start there with that minimum requirement. Then it gets a little bit more complex depending on which category you're seeking. If you're trying to do it through a humanitarian process like asylum, or maybe down the road as a victim of domestic violence, family violence, or a victim of a crime, there's a way of doing it as well. If you're trying to do it through a family member, it really depends on who that family member is and some other factors. Thank you. Is it possible that we are in 75 country pause while filing the suit will still be able to get or not? Is it possible that if we are in this pause while filing the suit, will it still be able to get through? Someone is asking on Instagram. So the goal of our lawsuit is to help those people who are in our lawsuit, right? Only them. This is not a class action. And so we're asking specifically that the court issue an injunction, of course, to stop the government from using this policy against our plaintiffs, and also to compel the U.S. Embassy and state, the consulate to take you out of this process of under this policy, and finish your process and issue you that visa if you are qualified for it, if you have a good case before them, if you are approvable, then approve it and issue you your visa so that you could come to the United States. That's all that we're asking here. That's all that we're asking here, guys. Come on in. Hello. Thank you so much for being here on Instagram. Uh, Thank you with your questions. I see people joining, but I need to see the questions coming up on Instagram. Thank you. Is there any news on Haitian TPS? Someone on TikTok is asking. At this time, I do not have any news about Haitian TPS. Can I explain why adjustment of status for U visa applicants takes so long? U visa generally is a very lengthy process. And I would say that for this administration in particular, they are not prioritizing these humanitarian cases. Okay, let's go down. The U.S. Supreme Court the U.S. Supreme Court last week. What you could do is take a look at last week. The Supreme Court had an important case about asylum by applying, stating that a higher standard needs to be applied to asylum cases where you're alleging that you had past persecution. They want to keep you, it was a unanimous decision, but that makes it clear that that higher standard with regard to the type of evidence or how much evidence need to be shared to prove and win a case based on past persecution. That was their ruling last week, guys. It was a tough one, but it was unanimous with all members of the court joining in on that one. I don't have any other news to share about asylum. Let's see, K-1 visas for Nigerians. It still works. It's still possible. It's very tough, however, to get the K-1 processed. Let's see. And Nigeria is on, I believe Nigeria is on the partial ban list. I can't get into that detail right now. Um, um, which applies primarily to, it does apply to immigrant and non-immigrant visas, specifically students and visitors, okay? So you could still go ahead and do the K-1. However, it's always been, even before all of this happened, it's hard to get the K-1 approved for Nigeria. You're going to have a lot of good evidence and good facts about that relationship because they've seen a lot of fraud and they're pretty tough with it in Nigeria. Yes, Bahamas is on our list of 52 countries. It is, again, guys, you could go to our website and you'll see on our website on the lawsuits page for the immigrant visa pause, you'll see a list of the countries that are there that we're working with at this time. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's see. Someone says that I had an interview for the F2A category, but they said everything is good, but they cannot issue the visa due to the pause. When will this pause be lifted so that I could get the visa placed in my passport? Someone on Instagram is asking. Again, it's indefinite. The pause is indefinite. It's indefinite. I don't know when they're going to lift it. Thank you for all of the new folks who are joining today's live session. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide. Double tap the screen on TikTok. It is Monday, March 9th, and we're going through some of your immigration questions. No updates for oath ceremony in New York. If you're a member of one of those 39 travel ban countries, they are not issuing you an oath ceremony at this time. Let's see, Tanzania is not part of our 52 country list. Lawsuits, someone is asking on Instagram. Okay. Freedom Now. I do not have an update on Sierra Leone. I don't know what's really going on there, other than the fact that this government has it on the travel ban list. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Guys, I had a consultation recently with someone who has children. I think, yeah, it was children in this case. Nationals of another African country. The other African country is not a travel ban country. It's not on the fully restricted list. It's not on the partial list. It's not any of those. And but the children will be processed in Sierra Leone. And so the concern was, oh my goodness, I heard that there's a travel ban, on Sierra Leone. And I had to remind them that, well, travel bans are based on nationality, an individual's nationality. So the children can still process through there. It's just that because they're not nationals of Sierra Leone or any other travel ban countries, they could still get through. And here's how we could help you to bring your children to the United States who are in an administrative processing stage. Cameroon. Okay, let's see. Cameroon, someone is asking me a question about Cameroon, which is part of our lawsuit. I want to check on something else here regarding Cameroon. Let's see. Okay, so someone had asked me about applicants from Cameroon going through a process at USCIS. USCIS is moving on those cases. Cameroon is not a travel ban country, okay? But Cameroon is tied up to this whole 75 immigrant visa issuance problem. So the U.S. Embassy will not issue the visa for Cameroonians at this time, but USCIS will process the cases here in America for those going through the I-130 process from that country. Guys, you see how, gosh, I kind of wish I didn't have to be talking about immigration pauses and shutdown from all different sides. here in America and out of America. That's how you should think about it. What's going on inside and out or outside of America. It depends on your circumstance. Okay. Check up on your immigration lawyer if you haven't checked up on him or her recently, because at least you guys get to see me weekly. You know that I'm doing fine. Not hanging in there, but I'm thriving in this environment. But check up on your attorney because it's a tough time. It really is. Thank you. Freedom now. Freedom now. Can someone from a banned country still file for citizenship now? You can still file. As a matter of fact, I would say yes, go ahead and file. File that naturalization application, but don't expect during the pause an oath ceremony. File now so that you could at least get in the process, and have your case in the queue to be moved along in the event that they lift this, hopefully this year, or you could, or if, after you file and there has been some time with the processing of your case, if this pause is still in effect, you could work one-on-one with an attorney, or you could find out or keep in touch with us in our news to see if we're going to have a second or third cohort to the, regarding the USCIS adjudication pause case. Then you can join that type of lawsuit down the road. Freedom now, guys. Come on in. Double tap the screen. I'm Latoya McBean Pompy, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide. Yesterday on Sunday, we did publish a terrific YouTube video about denials. USCIS is denying more cases and what you should do next. Some pro tips in there about how to treat and handle a denied case from USCIS. So go to McBean Immigration TV, guys, and check out my latest video about USCIS denials. USCIS is placing more people in removal proceedings after they deny the case. So you really need to act swiftly if your case has been denied. What if your case was old before the visa restriction came into effect? Bill is asking, what if you have an old case? What if your case was old, the visa restriction approval? Okay, I'm going to try to pull this together as best as I can. I think you're asking if you were refused under 22 and placed in 221G administrative processing before the visa restriction or the visa pause went into effect. You're going to be impacted as well, because the whole point of this is it doesn't matter when you file necessarily or any of those details. What matters is, will the embassy or consulate issue you a visa on the day that you go there for your interview? Will they say yes to you and then issue it to you and, take your passport and then put it in your passport and tell you to come back and pick up your passport? That's really the question. And it doesn't matter if when you had actually filed, right, your case, will they give you that visa today? And the answer is no. It's no. So that's why it's so important for you to consider, a stronger action to compel the government to act on your behalf. Okay, thank you. After your lawsuit is filed, how long do you think it will take to be resolved? I'm not expecting it to be dragged out very long because of the types of arguments that we're making in this, including the injunction. So, but I can't give a definitive answer because sometimes litigation can be unpredictable. But we will be keeping, of course, our plaintiffs in the loop, and we have a web page designed specifically for updates for the 39 country lawsuit that will be filed before the 52 country lawsuit. Once the other page is ready for the second lawsuit, we'll send it to our plaintiffs and keep them updated on things. And certainly they're hearing from me via email as well. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Um, does lawsuits have any negative impact if it's not successful, Saeed? I've never seen it do that. Uh, Again, keep in mind that the merits of your case are what they are. And when you work with a lawyer on a lawsuit, normally it's to compel the government to do something, to act, um, or to prevent it from doing something, taking certain uh, applying certain policies towards you that are unfair or arbitrary or unconstitutional. So that's usually, those are the ways that it goes. Now, if your case is denied, of course, you could have an attorney take a look at the reason for the denial to see if you have any way forward, whether you could appeal it or whether you should refile the case down the road. But the merits are what you've presented to them already. If you find that your case has been denied and they were unfair with how they handled your case, we'd be happy to talk with you about what happened and to give you our honest opinion about how to get you back on track. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Double tap the screen. I'm a green card holder of 27 years. I'd like to travel. I've applied for citizenship. You can still travel. I think that's what your question is. You can still travel so long as you don't have, do you have a criminal record? And if so, what's on your record? That's number one. And you've applied for citizenship, so I'm assuming obviously you don't have a removal or you're not in the removal process. So most likely you'll be fine. Yes, you'll be fine with your travel. All right. Uh, Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here reachable at McBean Law. You can reach out to us at 914-898-9488. I don't have any update yet with regard to the travel ban. The government has not given us any updates. Someone says, I'd like to come in and speak with you in person. You can do that. We meet with clients in our office, as well as by Zoom or telephone. Let's see. Can someone from Oklahoma process his case with you? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit here. Is it normal that USCIS, is it normal for USCIS, your joint sponsor, send you to do fingerprints? Is it normal that USCIS sent your joint sponsor of your affidavit of support to do fingerprints? No, that is not normal. That is not normal. Normally joint sponsors are not involved beyond signing their name on your I-864 and giving you their tax records and maybe a copy of their passport, their U.S. passport or something like that to prove their identity, or driver's license. But that's very strange to me. I've never heard of USCIS asking a joint sponsor to give fingerprints. TPS for Haiti is not, it's on thin, it's just hanging on by a thin thread right now. Yeah, the government has not made any positive movement towards renewing or re-registering. None of that has happened. As a matter of fact, the opposite is going on right now. They're really trying to pull TPS from Haitians right now. Thank you, guys. Come on in, double tap the screen and say hello. Thank you. Um, if you have a removal order and you left, I think you're asking here what would be the consequence if he or she who has a removal order leaves. Okay, so if you have a removal order and you left the United States, you're executing that removal order, you're going to be banned from returning to the United States for a period of time. You could always file a waiver to come back early if you're qualified to do so. You have to also show that you have a pathway back to the United States, whether it's temporarily. Some people can come back temporarily as a visitor. Other people can come back permanently as a green card holder. So your return to the United States, if you're ever interested in that, should be laid out before you leave, explained to you before you left America. Again, you're executing on that removal order once you do leave the country. If some people are thoughtfully leaving the country, and they could thoughtfully leave the country by, even notifying the government. Sometimes it's a good idea to notify the government of your departure, to have it on record, particularly if you have a plan mapped out for your return to the United States. But do that in consultation with an immigration attorney who you trust. Okay. All right, let's go with some questions on Instagram. Let's see. What questions do you have for me there? And while I'm waiting for some to come in there, let's shift over to TikTok. I'm an active duty member, and my spouse is from one of the 75 country that has been paused with the immigrant visa. Someone on TikTok is asking, is there an exemption? No, there is not. You would think that there would be, right? For people who are spouses of active duty members of the military, or your parent is a U.S. citizen, or your wife is a U.S. citizen. There is nothing like that at this time. That's in the that presidential action. Let's see. Thank you for all of you who do watch these live sessions each week. I hope you're finding them very informative to you. Let's see. Thank you. No updates on DACA today, unfortunately. Is Jamaica part of it? Yes, Jamaica is part of our 52 country immigrant visa ban. So if you are a Jamaican and you have gotten a refusal letter at the visa center at the embassy in Kingston because of this pause, and I've seen those refusal letters that Kingston specifically is issuing. We did put it on our Instagram page in a carousel. Then you can join this lawsuit if you choose to. Okay, but yes, Jamaica is tied up in this, in addition to quite a number of other Caribbean countries like Bahamas, Barbados, and some other ones there in the Caribbean. Grenada is there as well. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, right? So yeah, join us. Join us. Haiti is not part of this one. Haiti is not part of the 52 country lawsuit, but Haiti is connected to our 39 country USCIS adjudication pause. After K-1 visa sent to USCIS for revocation, what is your advice? Marriage or refiling? Someone on Instagram is asking. So here's an example of a K-1 case fiance visa case that did not work out at the U.S. Embassy level. What the U.S. Embassy did was they sent the case back to, what the embassy did is send the case back to USCIS with a recommendation to revoke the approved petition. It's going to take a long time for the embassy to communicate to USCIS, and then for USCIS to communicate to you about the the reasons for the revocation and giving you time to cure those reasons. Long, lengthy process. For some people, it's better that they proceed with a marriage case if it's possible for your U.S. citizen fiance to, to travel to the foreigner's country to marry him or her, and then do a I-130 case. Depending on your location, if you met with me, depending on your location, I would immediately tell you that I think the K-1 process can work for you based on where your, fiance is. Other times I say, I don't think it's really going to work. It will delay things and cause things to be really dragged out. Lagos, Nigeria is like one of those embassies that I think, it could be dragged out. Kingston, Jamaica, no, it's fine. And some other places, it's fine. You could get your K-1 partner here. Dominican Republic, that's, in between, you know. Um, Most countries, it's fine, but some really crack down on the K-1 process, I think. I don't have any news about the EB-2 at this time. I really haven't been tracking much on the employment immigration side of things, as you can see, because there's only so much capacity for this. A lot of brain power that is split between immigration and some other interests and things that I have going on in life. So I haven't kept up on the employment side. Let's see. Thank you, guys. If you are an asylum applicant, if follow the protocols, follow the procedures. Once your asylum has been granted and you're an asylee and the time comes, apply for adjustment of status. Just do things. Keep things moving. Now is not the time. I'm looking at a question here. Now is not the time to sit on these particular steps. Also, very importantly, I had a really challenging consultation with someone. This might help some of you, I don't know. Last week, I had a very challenging, emotionally challenging consultation with a couple who did everything right. They've been married for many years. And the one thing they did wrong, however, is after the wife came here on her 2-year conditional green card status, they just thought, okay, the card expires. So what? She's still a resident. She's still legal. And they moved on with their life. They had all these babies and they took care of their business and they thought she was okay. Turns out they didn't know that at the end of the 2-year conditional period, they needed to do the removal of conditions. I-751 process. Guys, please don't make the mistake of sitting on that. If you've only been granted a 2-year green card, immediately begin working with a professional on the I-751 process. Once you are you're within 90 days, well, even before the 90 days, just start working with a lawyer on that process for the 10-year green card. Do not go out of status, because what happens there is it's not that the card expired, it's that you lost your status. You're out of status. That's the big difference. If you had a 10-year green card and it expired, well, it expired. You're still a resident, but not so with the conditional 2-year card. So please don't make that mistake. It's really painful once you come to the realization of the impact of under this administration of going out of status, okay? I'm getting a little emotional thinking about that couple. I could still see them right now in my mind. They are so terrified right now. All right, guys, real talk. Real talk. Let's go. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is part of our USCIS, and we have some plaintiffs too from Afghanistan. It's part of our USCIS adjudication pause case. Thank you. Nigeria's on. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go down to something else. My Nigerian in-laws had his interview on January 13th, 2026. Will the pause affect them? Well, what's going on there with respect to Nigeria specifically is the travel ban. I think that's what's going to hit them primarily. It's the travel ban. That's what's impacting Nigeria currently. And I don't understand how, from a diplomatic standpoint, that hasn't been lifted yet, because that's a very important country, um, not only in the continent of Africa, but globally. So I wouldn't be surprised if, as time goes on this year, certain countries, there will be updates to that list. Thank you, guys. We started a little bit late today, so I'm going on a little bit longer. So stick around with me. I'm still here answering your questions. The green card renewal process, USCIS has some processing times on its website. It does take a long time. For some people, really, it takes more than a year to get it renewed. If your green card renewal application has been pending for a very long time, and you need some proof to your employer or something like that, you could always make an appointment at USCIS's office, and they'll give you a stamp in your passport, to give you some more reassurance of your status. Someone said, I submitted my N400 application, but I made a mistake with with the last digit of my social security number. How do I fix that? You could fix that easily. Don't sweat it right now. Don't lose sleep over this. You could fix that easily when you go in for your interview. They will ask you at the beginning if you'd like to make any updates or changes, and that will be your opportunity to say, oh yeah, by the way, and also you should have, your social security card with you that day as well to show that proof. So you'll have that opportunity. Type in freedom now. Is it possible to change status from B1, B2 to student? Yes, it is still possible. Steps have not been changed. Rules have not been, um, put in place quite yet with respect to change of status process. Let's see if I could. Uh, okay, so now let's see. What other questions do you have? Freedom now. I got my case was denied with USCIS. Can I reopen it? You might be able to. How long has it? When did they deny you? Is it more than 30 days? If so, you won't be able to. Most people cannot reopen their case after 30 days of getting that denial letter. However, you could meet with us or another lawyer to see if it's possible for you to refile the case, and what's going to take. What is it going to take to get you to the goal of an approval? So speak with someone who can answer that question for you. Let's see. Let's keep going. Um, is it possible to file for asylum now? If you're eligible for it, yes. I know that the asylum process seemed like it's under attack. I need you. Can you stay, please? I know that the asylum process seemed like it's really under attack right now. But just keep in mind that if you are eligible for asylum, you could still apply for it. But don't just do it because it is the thing to do, because asylum is getting people in trouble these days. At some point very soon, TikTok is going to ask for verification. So I'm asking for your assistance with that. Thank you. Freedom now, freedom now. Um, and there it is. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, let's see. It's fine. You could shift it around. It's okay. Thank you. I did mention earlier that adjustment of status based on U visa is a very tricky process. It's taken very long. It's perfect. Thank you. The government is not prioritizing those cases. I don't know anything else on the operational side of things, why it's going any slower than how it's going right now. Thank you. Military parole in place. while you're in removal proceedings. How do you apply, USCIS or ICE? I think you should really don't focus on how to apply. Focus on whether you should apply, and take the calculate and understand how calculated the risk is. And you could speak with us on this because we have been consulting with people and working on some very sensitive cases along those lines. Any case that would potentially involve ICE, guys, you've got to know what you're doing. Any case that involves a removal order and USCIS in combination, you know, you've got to know what you're doing. Removal order plus USCIS, risky, risky. It has to be an informed decision before you proceed. That's how we're approaching it. Um, uh, Removal order, ICE, risky. Know what you're doing, not the how to do it. You shouldn't even be asking me how you do it. Are you thinking of doing it on your own? AI can tell you the hows to do things, right? How this works, how that works, partially how. But whether you should, you've got to get a human brain on it and experience, okay? So, yeah. Oh, right. As a Kenyan, can I travel within the United States? I have a work permit and I'm waiting on the interview for asylum. Um, so I think you'll be fine with domestic travel, really. But, there are there's always a risk inherent in going to the airport, even to do domestic travel here in the United States, if you don't have, a green card at a minimum. But am I hearing stories about people like in your circumstance being arrested at the airport domestically for their travels? No, I'm not, and I know you're not hearing those either. So I think the risk is very, very, very low. Okay, to individuals traveling domestically. Um, but it's an you travel at your own risk. I think you'll be fine though, but it's at your own risk. Can someone from Maryland process an asylum case? When you say from Maryland, what I don't know, that's the part that's throwing me off a little bit here, Timber. Um, so it doesn't matter where you are in the United States. If you have an asylum case, you have an asylum case. We could also work with individuals all across the United States who do have an asylum case, if there is one. If there is one, okay? Is the 2-year conditional green card being impacted for Jamaicans? Currently, only if that Jamaican is going to the U.S. Embassy for the immigrant visa, then there's the pause in effect that is blocking that particular process. But if you're here in the U.S. and you have a marriage case pending here in the U.S., adjustment of status case, you should be fine, Jamaican. You should be fine. Let's go down a little bit here. We're going to wrap up momentarily. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see. I'm a U.S. citizen. My fiance is Egyptian, but works in Saudi Arabia. Can I do the fiance visa? I think you should be okay with that. I have to pull back up my uh, list. I think you should be okay with that. Um, okay, so let's see something here. Hold on a second. I think you should be fine with that. Yeah, I think you'll be okay with that. USCIS is going to process that case. Um, what do you think about advanced parole through DACA? Have you processed them? Yes. Do you have experience with them? Yes. I think that you could still try to get it done if you have a good rationale for wanting to travel. Now, if you are going through, let's say you're going through the marriage process, maybe, I don't know, or just the green card process, and you need to go to your U.S. embassy. I don't know if that's the context, or if you're thinking, I just need to have that lawful admission on my record. But whatever the reason is, for the advanced parole, you've got to make sure that that explanation fits in genuinely and truthfully with, the type of basis that will work for advanced parole. Um, I have a denied I-485 adjustment of status case. Can I get it reopened? It might be possible for you. It just depends on when did you get that denial? Is Ghana part of the naturalization pause? Is Ghana one of the 39? Ghana is not, yeah, Ghana is not a travel ban country. Ghana is not, there's no naturalization pause applied to Ghana. Ghana's cases are still processing at USCIS. All right, guys, I have to end now, actually. I have some meetings to attend to, and some services here to provide at our firm. We're here for you guys. You can reach out to us at 914-898-9488 for a consultation. Now is a good time to get on our calendar and talk one-on-one about your immigration case. Even if you already started working with an attorney and you would like a second opinion, or you're uncomfortable about some things, it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion. We meet with people in that circumstance all the time, and we'll give you our honest opinion about your problem and see if there's a way for us to now jump in, or help you to jump in and help you to move it forward. You can contact us at McBean Law. We're here for you. Thank you so much for being with me. Don't forget to watch yesterday's YouTube video about pro tips on how to deal with a denial from USCIS. Again, Saturday, March 14th is our deadline to join our 52-country immigrant visa pause lawsuit. And Friday, February 13th, is our naturalization webinar. So register for this free webinar about how to become a U.S. citizen in this environment. Guys, you're the best. Thank you for your patience today, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.